Hey everyone, excited to get this webinar started. We're going to let everyone just continue to filter in here, and we will get started here in just 30 seconds, a minute, once I see that we're getting everybody in here. Yeah, excited to talk to everybody today about BusyBusyFREE versus Pro, the differences, and dive into it. Again, we'll give everyone just a couple of seconds here before we go. All righty. Well, let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to look at here on our BusyBusy dashboard, and to start on the pro side of things. So this is the $9.99 per month per employee product, is our budgeting feature. And we've got a couple of really cool things here we've just recently added. And I'll even just pull up my specific job here. And feel free, as we kick this off, feel free to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. Any questions that you may have, drop in the chat, drop in the QA, and we will get those answers as we go through this. So on our budgeting tool here, a couple of things that we've done recently, and I'll even just click all the way in here, gives a company the ability to get a full view of what is happening on a job. So what we're calling this progress value is the total value of that job. How much are you going to make as a contractor for that specific job? And being able to track that by whatever unit of measurement right here that you need to track by. So whether that's for the example I have here even is like a concrete company. So looking at a concrete company, if they're tracking completion of a job, success on a job by square feet, or as a company, if you're tracking that by cubic yards, or even by like truckloads, if you're an excavation company tracking it by linear feet, that is all the stuff that we can do here with this budget. And so I put in here, for this job, I'm going to make $28,000, and I'm going to track that by the square feet completed on these different tasks. So I've decided to go with our cost codes here and go, okay, well, how many hours or how many square feet of rebar has to be tied? How much has to go into concrete forming? Do we need to do any backfill? And so with that, I can assign this unit of completion as the employees track time to this job and track time or production for that day. It ticks away at this budget live. So as a owner, as an admin, I can come in and view each job and see, like, for example, with this concrete forming, I can see, okay, we're 60% through completion of this specific task, but I'm 80% through my labor hours and 95% through my labor costs. What's going on here? Why are we behind on this? Versus like our backfill here, where I can just check this out and go, oh, great, like we came in right on budget for this. It took us about 8 hours, took us about $300. We're even going to save some money on cost, and I can see that that's completed and that we're done. And then same thing here, I threw in a random excavation cost code here because with this budget, we've released the ability to also track equipment hours and equipment costs. So now companies can assign a cost to a piece of equipment and even manage that in a budget. So if I know, if I am a company managing heavy equipment, I can come in here and I can see, okay, great, how many linear feet do we need to complete to get the money for this job, which is 10 grand? How many hours are going to be spent on it? What's our labor cost? But now I can also assign and look at what's our equipment hours. So how many hours am I planning on having guys use that excavator, use that dozer? And then what's the actual, I can assign a cost to that piece of equipment and say, okay, for this job, I'm estimating that it's going to take us a total of 2,500 hours or $2,500 in cost with that piece of equipment. So doing this a little backwards, I wanted to show the budget here first before jumping into the app, because of how important it is and how many companies are using this budget. So when those employees track time, they're able to have all this information here in an easy to read dashboard that they can view. Are they successful on the job, or what needs to have their focus that day? So I'm going to jump over to the phone here. So all I've done is mirror my phone onto my computer here. And this is what employees see as they come to clock in. And I see we're having a couple of people filtering as well. Again, just feel free to drop any questions in the chat or in the Q&A, and we'll get those answered as well. But jumping over to the app here, an employee has to be able to hit clock in, and then this is where it comes up to the company to decide what they want the employee tracking time to. So we have a lot of companies, almost all companies that use BusyBusy are trying to track time to a specific job, a specific project. And then we have a lot of companies that are using this cost code. So this is where companies will try and track to a specific task. So if I'm tracking it, I'll just even go, I'll add to the, so if I'm doing like concrete forming, great. And then if I'm not a company that needs equipment, that's something that we can just remove. Or if you are, that's something that employees can just clock into. So I hit clock in. I've got a couple of new buttons here now. I can go on break. I can switch from job to job or task to task. I can leave notes or descriptions. So I'll even just add a note here. And then let's say I'm on the job site and I want to capture a photo, show some documentation of like, hey, we got this completed, or hey, here's an issue I want you in the office to be aware of. Taking a photo just of my computer there, and I can even add a note describing what I'm taking a photo of. It's going to auto tag it right to that project. So it gives me the ability as an employee to hit done and not have to worry about this photo again. I don't have to worry about texting it in, emailing it in, remembering where I saved it, trying to find it in my all of my other personal photos. It's going to save it, geostamp it, timestamp it, and make it really easy for anyone with access, even just on the phone here. I can pull in and see, okay, great. Here's the photo Ryan just took at the Tyler Avenue job. Or I can even specifically go, now I want to see all the photos taken today at the BusyBusy office building. So here's all of these photos. Here's some photos I took at a trade show. So I have access to all of those photos that are being taken in BusyBusy. And now, just also to note here, top timer is going to show my total time on this job in this cost code or this task. Bottom time is my total time for the day. So let's say I'm done doing concrete forming, and just to give an example from a heavy equipment side, if I'm now doing some excavation using this piece of equipment, I can hit that, hit done. Top timer starts over because I've switched that task that I've been working on. Now that I'm done for the day, hit the big red button to clock out. I'm done, and I have the ability to answer a handful of questions before I leave for the day. So was I injured, yes or no? So this is a feature, one of our most popular features, in that companies want to manage workers' comp liability, make sure they don't have employees filing false worker comp claims 6 months down the road. So capturing that every day, was I injured, yes or no? Did I follow the California break policy? This is something that we have a lot of California companies use, or it will just read, did I follow the company break policy, if we toggle that California specific piece off. So I can come in here and say, yep, I'm good. Is my time accurate? Yes. And if I forgot to clock in like at a specific time this morning, I can hit no. I can enter in why my time's inaccurate, or if I remembered I'm good to go, I'll just update that. Hour meter for the piece of equipment as well. Hit submit, and I'm good to go. So that is what it looks like for your employees to manage time. And as they're doing this, it's going to push all of that information right in that budget and give you access to see what's going on each job. Where do I need to focus my time on? One thing to note is there's a couple of ways to manage time in BusyBusy. Showing you here, this is just where the individual employee can manage their own time. We can have employees or supervisors or foremen manage time for a crew, so they can do exactly what I just did, clock everybody into job, task, equipment, and they can manage all of that for their crew themselves. Or we even have a kiosk mode where companies can have employees clock in at the job site or at the office just through the kiosk, takes a photo of them, uses facial recognition, makes it really easy for them to clock in, clock out, and you're able to see that they're where they should be. And then one thing to note, because this is about looking at the BusyBusy free versus pro. So right now we're looking at the pro version of the app. The free version of the app is the exact same. The difference being that from a free perspective, I don't have the ability to capture photos. And there's a couple of other things here that we'll continue to walk through, like our scheduling feature. So my ability to have myself scheduled out for the job, the task, as a crew is something that's also a pro feature, as well as being able to update here on progress, specifically what has been done. What have we accomplished today? So for example, with this concrete forming, I would just add that here. How many square feet was accomplished? I'll just enter in 25, hit done, and it's as easy as that. So those are all part of the Pro package. So with free, they still have the ability to clock in. You still get GPS of where they are throughout the day, when they clock in, when they clock out, and when they go on break and end that break. But there are a couple of features there I wanted to clarify.
And I want to mention too, sorry to interrupt, another feature on the phone that is not available for our free product is our daily sign off. So capturing that injury every day or inaccurate time, anything like that, that is not included in the free. So that is one difference that you will see as well.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a great clarification. Jumping over to the dashboard here, there's a couple of things just right here on the dashboard that a lot of companies love to use. One is just this availability to see who's clocked in, who's on break, and who's clocked out. So I can come in here and just by a click, okay, I want to see who's all currently working, and I want to see GPS. So if I've got GPS here on Dustin, I can pull him up and see exactly where he's at. Let's see if my Wi-Fi will allow. Here we go. So I can see here are the jobs he's been clocked into today. Looks like he's way up here. As I come in here, you can see the different geo drops as he's moved around. And then just jumping back here, any inaccurate times, injuries, break issues. So that daily sign off as they answer those questions. Anything that you need to worry about as an admin, project manager, owner will all populate here. I have access to view all the photos here as well of, okay, are there any issues, or being able to view those progress updates of what's going on the job site, as well as a lot of companies will have foremen even generate like this daily report just from their phone. Takes them a couple of clicks and they're able to pull this up, enter in a couple of notes, grab photos from the day, and then it will populate production of what we did that day, as well as what employees worked on the job site today, what cost codes did we work on, how many hours were spent on each cost code, any equipment if it was used, as well as capturing a sign off from that supervisor saying, hey, I attest to all of the things on this project. Everyone worked on this job site with me. I'm good to go. And then jumping in, just continuing down, actually, I'll just jump even to our payroll scanner here. This is something that we released this year that a lot of companies have loved using because it gives them the ability to, and I'll just hit scan here. And since we're not even at the end of a pay period, it's going to give me a bunch of green check marks as well as X's here. But in a single click here, I can check all of these things to know if I'm good to run payroll. So does everyone sign their time cards? Has the supervisor signed the time card? Are there any time card conflicts? All of these things will populate here, and then I can even come in, view these, edit them, and makes it really, really simple to come through, check everything off, and then send it off to payroll or wherever that needs to go. Inside of each project, and we haven't touched on this a ton yet, is we've got a couple of specific GPS features. And let me hurry and just grab a project here that is being worked on. And so inside of each project, inside of manage, I've got the ability to generate a geofence. So I can come in here and, for example, we're working on this fossil coating. I can add this geofence. I can make it larger. I can make it smaller. And then I can put reminders. So as employees drive into that geofence, it'll remind them to clock in. As they leave, it will remind them to clock out. And then another feature we have is the ability to put an on-site verification, which requires they be inside the geofence in order to clock in. And so, for example, here, just looking at our map, if I'm at Little Caesars right here, I cannot clock into this job site until I'm inside this geofence. And then looking at just total project overview, I can see total hours, total cost, labor cost, photos from this job site. It gives me visibility to all of this here. And one thing to note is, so with our Pro product, you have the ability to view all of this information forever. We never take off any of the data. So we have companies that have been using for 10 plus years and can go back and view all of that information. It never goes away. Whereas with our free product, all of the reporting functions, including like our activity reports, are all going to be, you can view like a week's worth of data here. And so a lot of companies, when we talk about the difference between our free versus our pro, companies who are using that free are just trying to get off of paper time cards, and we want to make that as easy as possible. We don't want there to be a barrier stopping anyone from moving away from paper time cards, moving to something that's digital that gets you more accurate payroll, more accurate job costing. And then typically companies, once they get the hang of it, their employees are used to using it, will transition over to our Pro product for the reporting functions of, okay, well, now I want to see more than just a week's worth of data here. I want to see, for example, like on this Tyler Avenue job, I want to see weeks or months of information here. And I want to be able to dial in and say, well, what cost codes or what tasks were we working on? Or I want to see specifically what each employee was doing on this job, where I can click in and go, okay, where was Jake Stokes when he was working on this job on November 28th? All right, so it looks like he was in St. George and took a trip down to Los Angeles. So it gives me that ability to have that insight, have that depth of what's going on the job sites.
And Ryan, while we're on the topic of projects, I had a question come through a few minutes ago through our Q&A from Connor. He's asking if we can do sub projects.
We can. That's a really good question. Let me I'll jump over to projects. Let me pull up job here. So Whole Foods, for example, you can see here. So here's my main project, then here are my sub projects. And so if you are working for like a specific customer over and over, or you have like a GC you do work for, you can have that GC be that main project, and then you could add the specific jobs under as sub projects. And we can go several sub projects deep here. But yeah, that is something that we do have the ability to do. We'll have companies use these for specific jobs under a GC, or we'll even have other companies that want to use that sub project as like a phase. So they'll have a larger project, have 4 phases to that project, and they'll be able to drop those in. and go as deep as they want. But yeah, great question there. And then jumping over to our scheduling feature here, we do have the ability for employees or admin project managers to come into this scheduling feature and move schedules around, and makes this really simple. I'll even just schedule out some time for me really quick just to show you guys what that looks like. And I can add specifically the project I should be working on. I can add instructions of, hey, I need you guys to do X, Y, and Z. I can even send notifications. So anytime a project or a schedule is added, the employees will get notified on their phone that they've been added to a new calendar or to a new project. And if anyone goes around and moves these blocks around, because we know that sometimes jobs switch around where suddenly, a project may not be starting tomorrow, it may be starting next week. As you move those around, it will update them, letting them know, hey, your calendar's been adjusted. You're not actually headed to that job until this date. So here's that schedule I just added for myself. One cool thing why a lot of companies will use it is it gives the employee the ability to have less clicks. So as an employee, that job just auto-populates for me. And this is also a great thing I wanted to show of that on-site verifications requiring I have to be inside that geofence in order to clock in. All righty. And so I think we've got pretty well covered here. The last thing I wanted to show is just that production value of looking at specifically what's happening on each job site. And I'll even just jump over to project summary here. Actually, I want to look at progress. There we go. Try that one more time. Here we go. So this is where, as an employee or a supervisor, I can come in and add what we specifically did each day from an actual production standpoint. So how many square feet of concrete was poured, or how many cubic yards of curb and gutter, or roof was installed, or how many linear feet of pipe was installed. So anything here that as a company you're trying to manage and track, as they put this in, I can come look at by job what's happened. So for example, like demolition, even I can see I've got 2 submissions. I can click into this and see, okay, well, so for this week, who's done this? Okay, so that looks like Royce is the one that's been doing some demo on this job this week, and I'm able to pull this up, give visibility to it, as well as have it added back to that budget where I have full visibility of what's happening and whether I need to speed things up, or if there's an element of the job that needs my attention more than others. It's also a great way to come in and just see, like, if you've got specific crews running on different tasks, you can even come in and just get a visual of like which crews are your most efficient crews, who's lagging behind, who may need more training. So it gives all of that insight here. I think that gets us pretty well covered. So again, a lot of the stuff that we covered today was a part of the Pro product. But again, that free product has all of the same functionality when it comes to tracking time, clocking into a job, clocking out of a job. So in terms of like payroll as well as just job costing, you do have that functionality through our free app. But when it comes to companies who are looking for additional documentation, liability protection, and even just talking on liability protection, I was talking to a contractor the other day who had an employee who had left the job site healthy as can be, and he went home, was working on an engine, and the engine accidentally dropped on his hand. So he broke his hand. He came into work the next day and decided that he was going to fake the injury on the job site, get workers' comp for it, and was able to cost the company they estimated hundreds of thousands of dollars because he was able to get workers' comp. He raised the company's rates for workers' comp. Their safety score was affected by this, so that it was harder for them to get jobs with certain GCs, and it took them years to get that rate back down, the safety score back down, and so it was a whole mess for this company. And so when they saw that daily sign off with the hey, were you injured, yes or no, they were like, oh my gosh, we've been doing this with an Excel sheet. We've been making all the guys come into the office and check a box on Excel, but now finding you guys, it's like, okay, great, now we can get back to we don't have to make the guys drive back to the job. They can check off as they leave the job site, yep, I'm healthy, I'm good to go, and then they can head out. But yeah, additional documentation, liability, reporting functions are the things that companies are looking at when moving over to the Pro product. But the reason we've designed that free product is that we want to eliminate all barriers when it comes to helping companies adopt technology, move away from paper time cards, and help them be better business owners and get accurate data back from the field. And so, yeah, that's pretty much covers this here in terms of looking at what our Pro product does versus our free product. And now we can, open it up for questions.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions that have already come through, so feel free to throw any additional ones in here. But through the Q&A, and we touched on this for like a hot second, but I think it'd be good to dive back into what if not all of the guys on a crew have phones?
Great question. And so being a construction specific app, we run into this on occasion where there's certain crew members that don't have smartphones. And so that's where we'll recommend companies use that supervisor tools or that kiosk mode. So we'll have companies where it's just like, okay, well, it's always a 4-man crew and there's always a crew lead. So that crew lead's able to just manage that, clock himself and that other employee or the whole crew in. Or sometimes what they'll even do is have that crew lead turn their phone into the kiosk mode and have everyone clock in through their phone with that facial recognition, and it gets them covered either way. So even with employees that don't have smartphones, we're able to get you guys taken care of.
Awesome. Another one that we've been asked a few times actually, what about not having cell phone service? Does the app still work without internet or 5G?
It does, and again, we do have companies that will send guys out into the woods or wherever, the forest, where they won't have service for even like a week, and so the app functions the exact same whether they're in service or out of service. And if they are out of service, all of the information that they're capturing on their app will just stay stored on their phone. And then once they get back into service or get back into Wi-Fi, it will push all of that data right into BusyBusy, into the cloud, so you're able to access it from anywhere. So it does work offline, it works online, works the exact same, and it's not an issue.
I think we have time for one more question, and this is a good one. It's also been asked a couple of times. Does BusyBusy integrate with accounting softwares? We've been asked specifically about QuickBooks, desktop and online for this. Is that something that product can do?
Yeah, good question. It's a good question to end on even. And actually, I'll just show, since I'm still showing my screen, I should have brought it up. But looking at the Whole Foods job here is a great example of what that integration with QuickBooks specifically looks like. So with QuickBooks specifically, yes, we integrate with both. And not only do we integrate with both, but we're able to pull in both the customer and the sub-customer or projects from QuickBooks and keep the hierarchy exactly the same. So whatever the hierarchy is in QuickBooks pulls into BusyBusy. Employees are able to track time to that customer, sub-customer, or project, and we're able to push all of that time back exactly how it should be into that correct sub-customer or customer. But going broader than QuickBooks, we integrate, and this is just to name a handful, but like Sage 100 and 300, Foundation, payroll systems, ADP, Paycheck. So anything that typically a contractor is using to for accounting system or for payroll, we're able to integrate with, get you guys taken care of that way as well.
Awesome. Well, I think on my end, as far as questions go, that gets us pretty well covered. There's a few here that we don't have time for, so we'll make sure to email you guys with some answers. And thank you so much for joining. I don't have anything else, Ryan.
Yeah. Thanks all. We'll see you on the next webinar.